Spoke about the sugar stocks that's largely positive in trade today. Now government has allowed sugar mills as well as distilleries to make ethanol without any restriction. Now Vansh is joining in to give us all the details.
Well, yes, so sugar stocks like Dwarkesh, Renuka are up 10 to 12% in trade today. Now the stocks are still down 40 to 50% from their highs back in 2021 and 2022. Now the Dwarkesh, if I talk about some specific counters like Dwarkesh Sugar, it made a buyback at rupees 105 rupees back in the year 2024. Now even after today's gain, the stocks are down about 55% from their buyback price. Now let's moving on. Let's understand the developments for this particular counters. Now, the government has allowed sugar mills and distilleries to make ethanol without any restrictions in ethanol supply year 2025-2026. Now, the ethanol supply year runs from November 2025 to October 2026. Now, if I talk about the details, now the sugar mills and distilleries are now allowed to reduce the sugar production. This decision may help the sugar mills to reduce the sugar production and focus on the ethanol production, which is also a higher margin business for these particular counters. And if I talk about the further details, they are allowed to feedstock to produce ethanol. Now, feedstock is basically the raw material which is used for producing ethanol. Now, if I talk about some of the raw materials that are used in the ethanol production, if we can have the pricing of these raw materials on the screen, please. We can clearly see these raw materials which are used to produce ethanol. We have sugarcane juice ranging from 65 rupees a litre to maize ranging for 72 rupees a litre. Now moving on with this, let's also understand the previous developments which took place for these particular counters as well. In ethanol supply year 2024-25, the government permitted the diversion of 40 lakh tons of sugar for ethanol production. Now the oil marketing companies have sell ethanol blended with petrol during the ongoing ethanol supply year 2024-25. And they have achieved ethanol blending of 19.5% as of 31st July 2025. So clearly a series of positive developments is what we are looking at this entire pack for the sugar.
Well, thank you so much, Vansh, for giving us that perspective. But what will be the extent of the benefit of the government's move on the sugar companies? We actually spoke to Atul Chaturvedi, the executive chairman at Sri Renuka Sugar, about this. Here's what he had to say.
Circular which has come from the government actually now reflects that they have a reasonable amount of confidence that the next year's crop is going to be pretty good. And the rain gods have been kind to India, and there's no reason why the crop should not rebound big time. In fact, ISMA, our national body, has also come up with a number which is much higher than what it was last year. So that gives us the confidence that the next year, the diversion of sugar towards ethanol is going to be much higher.
Prashant, let me come to you on this because, we've seen an initial move on a lot of these sugar counters today, but this could be a long-term opportunity, at least for this year. And if so, it could be one for next year as well. Any particular picks that you have within the sugar space?
I think it's the right time for a government to take this decision when there was a long underperformance in the sector. All the stocks were down by 30-40%. Again, they are in line with their production ethanol blending targets of 20%. So they need huge volumes right now for the blending of petrol for the OMCs. In the pack, again, I think still Balrampur Chini looks very good for me in the pack as it's the leader in the market cap with almost 11,000 crores. In terms of valuation, in terms of ratios, in terms of ROCs, again, I think Balrampur Chini can still look good at this point of time and give a decent return for next 1 or 2 years.
Okay, so that's with regards to where sugar companies go, an interesting sector to watch out for, in fact, to understand which companies have, capacities in terms of ethanol and what their utilization stands at. Please join India Market Close because we will be giving you a detailed analysis on the same as well.